Yo, what's going on, traders? This is going to be a recap for Friday, October 10th, 2025, and I'm going to show you how I made over $10,000 trading the NASDAQ. Before we get into it, I do want to say that I see all the comments, I see all the questions on YouTube, in Discord, people asking, where's Hit? Did Hit stop trading? What's going on? I haven't heard from him in weeks. I haven't seen his videos on YouTube in weeks, this and that. So I'm making this video to let y'all know I'm doing great. I had an amazing month trading. I've been grinding inside the Discord. We've been streaming daily, and I've been working on some projects outside of this, some stuff that I'm excited to share with you guys real soon. And so I just haven't had the time to be uploading these daily videos. I was gonna make a video on this, but I didn't get around to doing it. Just going over September. Made over $70,000 with Tradeify. This is just one firm. This is not even including all the other firms, all the other accounts that I'm trading. But we can go over that real quick. So I made 72K for the month of September, 87% win rate, 3.4 profit factor. Every day was a green day, bar one. I hit my daily loss limit on one day. And yeah, I ended up extracting, I pulled out around $35,000 from these guys. And if I were to go over all the other firms, I mean, this turned into an hour video, so I'm not going to be doing that. But yeah, I just want to let you guys know that I'm doing great. I've been grinding. I hope you guys have been doing well too. Even though we've had some tough price action recently, I hope you guys are all hanging in there. So let's go over the trades that I took today. These are going to be the main two that we're going to discuss and go over. These are my Topstep funded accounts. I made over $2,000 on each one. So 2,000 times 5 is over 10K profit. And that's not even including my other prop firms. I made over 7K during the New York game session, but the price action was pretty whack to say the least. We're going to briefly go over that. But then heading into PM, when price action really picked up, I spread out some risk, so I only traded my Topstep accounts and paid off, made over 10K. Like always, I'm starting on the higher time frame. I'm going to identify the liquidity and the higher time frame key levels. So we had our all-time high up at 25,000, basically 400. Then we had some sell side, we had some pools of liquidity, some pools of sell side down here. Did I think we were going to engage with any of the sell side today? Heck no, of course not. I was not anticipating price to get the massive sell-off that we did, especially because if we're looking at the higher time frame, price has had one-way delivery. We've seriously just been pumping up and up and up and up. We've had a big move up over the last few weeks. So I honestly was just expecting more continuation higher. We can also see how price was respecting some of the discount arrays. We had this 4-hour imbalance, which price bounced up off of. So heading into today's New York game session, it looked like we were really going to attack that buy-side liquidity. So we can now drop down to some of the lower time frames. Here on the hourly, we see the same thing. Price retraced into some of the discount arrays, bounced up, and we got real close to this pool of buy-side liquidity. Now dropping down to the lower time frame, I had identified that we had this pool of buy-side liquidity, so we ended up engineering some liquidity just below our all-time high. So that was my draw on liquidity for the New York AM session. And the first trade that I took during the New York AM session, I entered into a long position off of this lower time frame discount array, this lower time frame BISI. I was targeting our all-time high. I took partials for 30 points once we traded up into this lower time frame premium array, just in case we rejected it. And thank goodness I did, because price did reject. We delivered lower. We ended up engaging with some lower time frame stops. And this move ended up taking out the remainder of my position at break even. After this trade, I took two more. For the second one, I got stopped out at break even. I entered into longs, anticipating price to seek our all-time high. And then for my final trade, I then entered in longs one more time. Not a huge gain. I ended up getting out for 10 points. And we can just see that overall the price action was really slow, really lethargic during the New York AM session. Nothing special. We had a bunch of back and forth movement with no real distribution. I then called it a day. I said I'm done. I took 3 trades, had 2 winners, 1 break even. Really nasty price action. I just wasn't going to deal with it. So I logged out, hopped off the charts, went about my day, went about my business until fast forward, not that long after, like 20-30 minutes after, this is what we got. We had some crazy sell-off within a few minutes. NQ delivered over 350 points lower within 10 minutes. I saw this as an opportunity to either catch a retracement up into this down move, rebalance some of these imbalances, or I saw it as an opportunity to take a short for continuation lower. So let's clean this up a little bit before we head on over to the higher time frame chart. We're going to take a look at the hourly time frame. Here on the hourly chart, we can see that big move. 350 points lower, we engaged with some sell side. There was something that stood out to me here. I'll give you guys a second. Maybe you guys know what I'm going to say. It's the fact that we engineered some sell side just above this higher time frame liquidity. If we take a look at some of the lower time frames here, we can see that we got real close. We got real close to that sell side, but we did not sweep it. We did not engage with it. This movement right here, this price action was a signal basically telling me that we're more than likely going to see continuation lower. to engage with all of this sell side here. And that's because the algo loves to make smooth edges jagged. So the fact that we had equal lows form just above that higher time frame sell side, that gave me an indication that we're going to see continuation lower. So I hunted for sells. I noticed that price formed a lower time frame stop hunt. We have this lower time frame stop right here. And if we zoom in here, we have a lower time frame change in the state of delivery. We can see how price displaced through, expanded away from those up close candles, retraced up into it. So I wanted to see, would this order block hold and would we continue lower? So we can fast forward a little bit here and we can see the answer is yes. So we ended up getting a little rejection off of the order block. And not only did we do that, we can also mark out this candle's low right here. So what is significant about this low? Well, if we look up just above, we had a BISI. So we had this imbalance here. Once price violates the first candle's low or the first candle's high, depending on whether it's a SIBI or BISI, that lets me know that the imbalance has been violated and that we can now use it as a potential inversion. So we had a lower time frame stop rate. We had a lower time frame change in the state of delivery, which formed this order block. We then formed this inversion right here. We can also take a look at the 15-minute chart. And let me clear this up real quick. We can see that on that stop rate, price wicked up into this 15-minute SIBI. So we have some higher time frame support. So it was looking like a really nice short setup was starting to form here. After identifying the order block and the inversion, I wanted to see, could price reject, get some momentum, and deliver lower? Leading up to this point, the answer was no. Price was trading back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I do not want to enter within this price action. I want to enter during the distribution when we actually have some momentum. So I was waiting to see a nice little reaction, a nice little rejection off of these premium rays. We also ended up forming this lower time frame SIBI right here. And if we fast forward a little bit more, we can see that price finally got a decent little rejection from the stop rate. If we look at all the price action after the stop rate occurred, we can see that we only formed two imbalances. This SIBI and we had this SIBI right back here that formed at 12:16 p.m. Remember, I mentioned I wanted to see a rejection. I wanted to see a reaction off of these premium rays. Did we get it off of the SIBI? No. We traded up through it. Back up into the inversion, back up into the order block. So from the stop rate, this was the first rejection here off of the SIBI. We had no other rejection off of the SIBI. But now this is the start of some real momentum. So I entered into a short position. My stop loss was placed just above the SIBI at the candle closure of this order block right here. And my take profit was set at the opposing liquidity at that higher time frame sell side. And the fact that price had now started to finally reject these premium rates, that gave me more confidence that this stop right here is our manipulation. If it's our manipulation, we can mark it out using our fib retracement tool. And we can see, surprise, surprise, our -2 lines up with that sell side. So this is just more added confluence that we're going to see delivery lower. So we can play this out here. And we can see the NQ ended up rejecting that SIBI. Really good stuff. I caught the momentum perfectly. And we ended up engaging with the -2 projection. We swept that higher time frame liquidity. And I made over 140 points profit from this one trade. So overall, this is a really nice short setup. Really clean stuff. We had our stop rate, we had our CSD, shift in structure, we had an inversion, we had some SIBIs, we had our projections that lined up with the higher time frame sell side. It delivered really well. And one little tip for this trade, I was able to line it up with the macro. The fact that it was around 12:40 p.m. right here, so we were 8 minutes away from the macro, that gave me even more conviction that within that time period from 12:50 to 1:10 p.m. that we would see our delivery lower into the higher time frame sell side, into our standard deviation projections. So after this nice dub, I thought to myself, I said, okay, well, check this out. Let me measure out this range real quick. From our manipulation, from that stop rate, we sold off almost 300 points. This led me to develop the narrative that we may see a little reaction up, a little bounce up off of the projections after sweeping this higher time frame liquidity, and that we would rebalance some of the down move. So I allowed for some more price to form. I wanted to see a change in the state of delivery. I wanted to see a shift in structure. I wanted to see some form of displacement. We had a nice little reaction up off of the projections after sweeping this liquidity. So I thought to myself, we may see a turtle soup long form. We also formed a lower time frame change in the state of delivery, and within that big candle, we ended up forming this BISI right here. So once I saw price bounce up off of these discount arrays, I entered into a long position. And you may be asking, well, what would you even target here? The first thing I did was mark out this range, this lower time frame range from this swing high down to the swing low. You can use this swing high as well, doesn't really matter, but we want to mark out the range. Again, whether it's from this swing high to this swing low, or from where our manipulation started. So once that's done, we're able to get equilibrium And we can see the equilibrium from this larger price swing is at about 24,755. And if this is the start of our turtle soup long, then this delivery lower should be our manipulation. And I can mark out this lower time frame price swing right here from the swing low to the most recent swing high. I'm using the lowest swing point up to the most recent swing high. And then from here, we can get our -2 and our -4 projection. I've seen this exact setup play out so many times. I was feeling really good about this trade. So I entered into a long position. My stop loss was just above the -2.5 projection. My main target was the -4, and we can play this out. So as soon as we tagged equilibrium and the projections, I made sure to take most of my position off. I locked in over 70 points profit. I then trailed my stop up to break even. We got real close to the -4 on this up move. I ended up trailing my stop up into profit, and then we can play this out here. We can fast forward some, and I ended up getting stopped out in profit. So from these two trades right here, I was up over $2,000 on each account. And the best part is, I honestly risked so little. I was using a few micros and I was able to make over $10,000 profit. So that's going to conclude this recap. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like always, if you have any questions, please make sure to ask in the comment section. I'll be answering every single question. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, share with all your trading friends. And until next time, good luck and good trading.